Welcome back, College Baseball Central fans. We're here another Saturday morning, some great college baseball. Listen, all other sports are over. Throw it away, flush it. It's all college baseball from here on out, folks. So if you guys have been watching your college basketball, switch on over. It's baseball season now. Thanks for joining us today. I'm joined with Jake McKeever and Micah Butel. How we doing, Phil? Jake, how we doing? I see you got a new hat.
It is not a new hat, but it's been trending towards being a hat that probably gets retired after the whole Masters debacle. Um, I think it's a cool hat. It's actually the same brand as that guy was wearing. No rivals, but yeah, that guy's been getting roasted mercilessly, and I can't really deal with hate like that.
You know, it happens, but you gotta strive forward here, Jake. Micah, how we doing this morning, man?
I'm good. I wanna be mad at you, Mark. You didn't even say my last name right. I thought we were friends, man. It's okay though. It's Butel for future reference. But
Beetle.
he tried, guys. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. We don't call each other by our last names. I'm the only Micah in the group, so it makes it a lot easier. But
I don't
no,
think I've
I'm
ever said your
good.
last name out loud. That might be the first time ever.
I think it was. That's why I was like, when he said it wrong, I was like, I can't be mad at him. I'm just gonna let him know and give him a hard time for it. But
You could be mad
no,
at me,
we're
Micah. It's okay.
We're good. I'm repping a team that Jake loves so much, the Bowling Green Falcons. You can't really see it, but
Let's go.
that's Jake's MAC
Ziggy.
champions. But no, I'm good. I'm happy to be on.
Dude, I'm pumped that we're back into full swing here at college baseball. I know we've been doing it for a while, but now all the fans are jumping in, and it's getting great weather across the country. Let's jump into an ACC matchup here, Micah, with Wake Forest going to UNC. UNC wins this one 11-1. Jake Knapp, 5 2/3, allowing just the one run. Gallagher goes and gets 3 for 3, 3 RBIs with the home run. UNC feels like it's trending in the right direction. The offense is starting to get going again. That pitching we know has been good all season. But if they can put together the offense, this team is going to be really tough and could be one of those teams we look at making another run to Omaha.
Yeah, I mean it's UNC. We talked about it on our ACC show how they're kind of not flying under the radar because that doesn't seem fair, but they're just consistently winning series. They haven't been. There's been nothing about UNC that's been like, wow, this team is incredibly good. Like, let's go crazy and talk about them. Like, they haven't really blown anybody out. Like, again, they lost a series to Stanford to start the ACC slate, so that didn't really help their case. But they're just quietly just getting things done. Offensively, they haven't been great. But obviously last night, the offense showed up. And again, the pitching has not been really an issue. Like Jake Knapp, obviously on Friday nights or game ones, right, have been fantastic. But, you got Jake, just Carl right behind him, and Howell as well. Like, this is a team that just continues to find ways. And when you talk about Wake Forest, I mean, they are the definition of wishy-washy. One night, they look like a team that can win the national championship. And the next night, they look like they're going to do what they did last year, which is get bounced in the regional. So it's really, really hit or miss on what to think of Wake, honestly.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. It just feels like Wake shows up some days, and other days they just forget how to play baseball, and they come out there and they go completely flat. And this was another one of those cases. Now, facing Jake Knapp on a Friday night, never fun right now. He's been really good, 7-0 now in the season. But you got to put back a little bit, and now you got 2 more games to come after it. So we'll see here what goes on. But I think it's more that UNC might be trending the right direction, and Wake Forest might be trending the wrong direction for a minute. Jake, South Carolina and A&M. A&M coming back, man. The walk-off by Sorrell there in 11th in the first game. Second game, all Aggies. Justin Lampkin just crushing, going 6 innings pitched, 3 hits. Bear Harrison, man, how do you love that guy? 7 RBIs, a home run. Kent also has 4 RBIs and a home run. The offense is coming back for A&M. Is this a sign of things that we're going to see more of, or is this, South Carolina pitching is not up to par necessarily in the SEC?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, South Carolina's walked double-digit guys in back-to-back games. While A&M, I'd have to go and check the Lampkin's start, but I assume since he pitched well, he didn't walk a ton of people. Prager didn't walk very many people. So from a pitching standpoint, they're starting to kind of get rolling a little bit. Bear Harrison's just on an unbelievable heater. Blake Benderup and Caden Kent really haven't been hitting as good in SEC play. They've started to really heat up. It's kind of the Aggies that we thought we were going to get from the beginning of the season. Anytime you can score 17 runs, this is now, I'd have to go and pull the stat, but I believe it's 140 runs scored, including a no-hitter in their last 6 games or something ridiculous like that, including a Liam Doyle no-hitter. They're starting to really heat up. It's night and day different from the team that we saw in Houston from a dugout standpoint. They're really chippy. They're having fun again. They're pulling out props every single game, it seems like, with the gold putter, the master stuff. So, I mean, they're having fun baseball again. And it's pretty easy to do it against a team that walks you 10 times, but, they are taking advantage of the free bases that they're given.
They are, and Mike, I know you've been pretty excited about this A&M turn as well. You are an ACC guy, but you're keeping track of the whole nation, as am I. This A&M turnaround's got to make you feel pretty good about how you've been hyping them up lately.
It's just good to see, like Jake mentioned, it's just good to see them having fun again. I'm not saying they weren't having fun when they were struggling, but like from what you saw in Omaha last year with what they were doing, like just like the way they approached pregame. Like I'm a big observer guy. Jake's the one that likes to talk to people. I'm the one that likes to just sit there and just watch and listen, just kind of see what the vibes look like. Just again, it felt like you could tell the weight of the world was kind of on their shoulders, right? And there was like, I don't want to say self-doubt because I'm sure they believe they could do it. But right, baseball's an ugly sport sometimes. It's gonna bite you in the butt. It's gonna do things that like you just have to respond to, and they just weren't necessarily responding that well. But now they are, like they said, like they're having fun. I mean, obviously it was Sam Houston and South Carolina the 2 times I saw them this week, but it is night and day difference just how much more lax they are, how much more fun they're having, and you can just see like like for example, Prager struggled on Thursday night. I can't remember who it was, Jake. Maybe you saw who it was, but a couple guys stuck around and were talking to Prager on the field after their meetings were over, interviews were about to start, and they were just kind of picking up Prager, like kind of like, hey, like we still need you. Like, yeah, we won tonight, but like we won and you didn't have your best stuff. Like we need
I believe
you
it
to
was
be your
Patton
best. It was great to see.
Patton and Wyatt Hensler, I believe, are the 2.
Yeah, I just like the direction they're going now. It feels like this team and that walk-offs can lift the team spirits pretty fast and make you go the rest of the weekend. Also, we'll see what happens today, but a good win for A&M as South Carolina kind of trend in the wrong direction. Arkansas and Georgia. Arkansas puts up 13. Georgia got 3. Get out to the 3-0 lead quick there. Shutout for the next 7 innings. Wahilo Aloy and Brent Iredale go yard and double in this game. Zach Root, good start for them. Jimenez comes out of the bullpen getting his 4th win with 2.1 hitless. This team of Arkansas has such a good bullpen. You forget that they've been one of the most complete offenses in the country this year, Jake.
They have been the most complete team from an offensive standpoint. They're far and away the number 1 SEC team. They lead Georgia, who's second, by 24 points. Aiden Jimenez has been a monster addition out of the portal coming over from Oregon State.
Welcome.
Yes. A great kid, though. Remember I got to meet him in Dallas a few years ago. It's really good to see the game reward people like him. Nolan Souza, I believe, is going to be out, pretty long term is what DVH said post-game. The kind of somber news, if you will, is that they get Rocco Pepe, who at times was really good at first base. It can move Caden Cozell over to second base. Ryder Helfrich's just been on an unbelievable heater. He's tripled his batting average year over year. They are the number 1 offensive team far and away, and people still think their pitching is their best part of their game. It was a little bit funny. I'm not going to say the pitcher's name, but Arkansas has runners on in the top of the 8th. The pitcher kind of gets pretty chippy, and then from there they just go to work and just explode for. Actually, no, that was in the 7th. So they explode for 9 runs in 2 innings. So it'll be interesting when they play some of these chippier teams, how Arkansas responds to it, because it seems like they're a team that loves to kind of be the villain and, humble people. So it's a good win for Arkansas. They still need 2 more. They're still on the road. It's still Masters weekend down in Georgia. But, there's a lot of positive stuff for this Arkansas team going forward.
Yeah, Arkansas looks like a really good team. They look like the tough team to beat right now. Right there, number 1, as everybody has them for a reason. Vanderbilt 4, Oklahoma 9. Sooners score 4 in the first. Vandy gets back within 1 there on the Humphrey home run in the 7th. And then Willits homers and a pair of doubles add 3 to Oklahoma's lead, and they just really didn't go back. Tremendous start from Cade Crossland, going 5 2/3 and 1 earned run. Mikey, you look at this team and you go, all right, they're missing Witherspoon on Fridays. He got scratched. He's going to be back at some point. He's just hurting a little bit. They want.
He's pitching today, by the way. It was just a stiffness, and they didn't want him to get out of routine.
Right?
Yeah, but they just didn't want to get him out of routine. He's completely healthy.
No, but to throw Crossland and just let him go out there and just go 5 2/3 was tremendous.
Yeah, Mark. So Cade Crossland, I think, was from either a JUCO or a D2. Do you know how many offers he had coming out of high school?
0.
He threw 88, and now he's up to 96. So he's just working his ass off getting into the rotation. He's an Oklahoma kid. His mom went to Oklahoma. His family's from the area. Probably the easiest recruiting pitch of all time when OU went to go recruit him. But it's good to see somebody like him pitching, for his dream team.
Yeah, and it's a big win for Oklahoma. They need some bounce back victory like this. humbling Vanderbilt a little bit, who's been on a little bit of a hot streak. I know, Micah, we were looking at this team and talking about this team going, all right, is Vandy this team that's going to be able to go out there and just keep continuing to battle, or is it, this team that's going to be fights and strife while you're trying to find offense? And it was definitely the latter yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they just, I picked them to win this series. Obviously, it's not over. It was just game one, but, it definitely didn't make me feel as good because I kind of thought game one was where they had a little bit more of an advantage. So you got to give kudos to Oklahoma. I mean, I obviously getting to see them in person in Round Rock early in the year, like that was, you could just see how much more talent is on that team than I thought there was going into the season. Again, their pitching staff is one of the better ones in the SEC. So it was definitely, for Vanderbilt, it's kind of, I don't know what to make of them. I really don't, because I think they have the talent to be a Omaha contender,
Yeah.
but some nights they look kind of like last year's team where you're kind of just wondering, is that program not falling off, the face of the earth, but are they regressing again? So I don't know.
Yeah, I worry sometimes about the offense, and then last night they really weren't going, and then you go, okay, well, they got this great starting pitching, and then Thompson last night was not terrific, giving up those runs early, and it's just like...
I will say this, Mark, because I actually watched this game. There was a ton of chaos from Oklahoma. Vandy kind of played lethargic, and OU took advantage and took extra bases. Jackson Willits stole plays, stole bases, hit home runs. It was just a typical OU game, if you will. And I don't think Vandy's used to that style of baseball because it is very, I wouldn't say cheap, but they definitely push the envelope and steal bases from you, where a lot of these teams in the SEC kind of just bang it around the yard. I think that it was just an overwhelming of styles that really kind of was really the thing for me, is that Vandy, this should be the way Vandy plays, but Vandy plays kind of arrogant in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, Oklahoma, Skip Johnson has always done this, right? So this is kind of his way of playing ball, is that he's going to go out there, he's going to steal bases, he's going to move guys around, he's going to do hit and runs, he's going to put a lot of pressure on a defense, and that's what they did last night in the victory. Nebraska and Iowa. Nebraska 0, Iowa 1. Iowa's now 13-3 in conference. They continue to find ways to win conference games. Obermueller was terrific, and he outduels Walsh, going 7 innings, just the 2 hits, 11 strikeouts. Just a solo shot from Cooper Schultz, but it was enough for Iowa to go out there and get the victory there. What are we taking back from this one, Mike? I know that this is kind of just one of those things you look at and go, Nebraska can put up runs in a hurry, or they can come out and show up flat like this, and Iowa took advantage of just the one run.
I am now known on social media as an Iowa baseball hater after leaving them out of my bracket on my bracketology. I don't know. Again, they're finding ways to win. So maybe I just need to start just giving them credit for that and just saying, hey, maybe everything that I think I know doesn't have to matter, because at the end of the day, they're winning baseball games. But I mean, I think it just, in a way, though, speaks to maybe what the Big Ten is this year. And I think Noah's behind the scenes, so Noah, cover your ears. But, I just don't think the Big Ten is maybe what we thought it could be going into the year. I mean, some of these programs, I thought Illinois was going to be pretty good. They haven't really done much. Purdue kind of fell off the face of the earth once Big Ten play kind of started. So
Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana's down. Maryland's looking like not the Maryland that we used to know a couple of years ago. It just feels like the Big Ten's kind of being ran by the newbies, the Oregon, the UCLA, USC. So it's just kind of, for me, I haven't given a lot of stock into what Iowa's doing because, the Big Ten hasn't done a lot on its own to really justify it. And I think part of the issue too, and I know Noah does a great job of fighting for it, is the Big Ten just doesn't get the same amount of coverage. So sometimes maybe there are teams that maybe Iowa is really good. And I just see who they've played and I go, well, maybe they're not that great, but you got to give them credit because, again, they're winning games in different ways. Some nights it's pitching, some nights it's the offense. Again, last night just took one swing of the bat, and that was the difference. So, you got to give Iowa credit. They're a team that, again, they continue to win. And if they sweep Nebraska this weekend, then I'm going to have to put them in my bracketology because
they're going to have to start.
The win numbers are going to be there,
right? They got to start getting in there if they keep sweeping these series and keep winning. Now,
can I say something though, Mark?
What?
How bad has Nebraska been? I felt like they were supposed to be kind of a fringe in that 25 to 30 range.
Yeah.
And they're completely under 500. They're not even close. They get shut out on Friday night against an Iowa team that, on paper, at the beginning of the year, we probably would have said, oh, yeah, Nebraska's taking that one easily. Noah would have to kind of clue me in, but what's been Nebraska's regression? Because I mean, every time I've seen them, like when they played UL, they looked pretty bad. When they played, I think it was in that Frisco tournament, they looked pretty bad. Like, they just look anemic, I think.
I mean, they're the worst team in their state right now based on the numbers. They can't beat Omaha. They can't beat Creighton. I mean, like, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to like crap on Nebraska. I think they have the capability, but I mean, like, that's the thing is they're not looking great on weekends, and they look terrible in the midweeks. So like you know, we always talk about it, right? Like midweeks don't matter, but midweeks kind of matter if you struggle on the weekends,
If you're not winning
and you're
weekend
struggling
games.
in both. So it's just kind of like, what is going on?
I thought that they were going to get going after they took that series from Oregon State, right? They started finally getting the offense rolling. You're like, okay, this is the Nebraska team we expected, where they're going to hit the ball at the ballpark. They're going to put pressure on teams. And then they come out and they score none, and they get 3 hits last night. I mean, Cade Obermuller, yes, we all know the abilities that this young man has. He has big league stuff when he's out there and dominant like this. But, yeah, it's a big question mark right now in Nebraska.
But you can't scratch across a run on a Friday night.
I'm telling you, it's just a big question mark, buddy. They just can't figure it out right now. Kansas scraped across 1, but that was all they got. Kansas won. TCU 14. All TCU, all over them. They put up 7 in the first 2 innings there, and it just didn't really ever get any better. Bell and Brunson hit huge home runs there, creating the separation. Tommy Lepore holding Kansas to just 3 hits over the 7 innings there, 11 strikeouts. Nice hat, Micah. Micah, why don't you just tell us a little bit about this TCU team?
It's nice to see them do what they've been doing against a team that I think is kind of worth something, I guess. Like, I mean, their Big 12 start, you know, was Texas Tech, was Houston, was BYU, some of the bottom, more near the bottom, right, of the Big 12 teams. I think the Big 12 this year might be one of, if not maybe the deepest from a balance standpoint conference in college baseball, like competitively. Like, there's really not too much of a gap. I'm not saying they're the best conference in college baseball. Calm down, okay? But I'm saying, like, the bottom, like, it really does feel like a lot of these, like, they're the bottom, whoever's in the bottom switches like almost every other weekend. Like Cincinnati, and when you like, do you really think UCF is a terrible baseball team? I don't think so. They're at the bottom of the standings right now.
I'll say this: it's definitely a haves and have-nots conference. So, like, some of these teams have run the gauntlet, but like, I went and looked at West Virginia's schedule. Like, they played like the 4 worst teams.
I agree, and then that's what I'm saying with TCU, right? It was nice last night because again, you saw them. Again, beating up Houston, beating up BYU, beating up Texas Tech. Like, okay, like, that's great, but show me it against someone that I think is good. And again, Kansas is one of those programs that we've all been very high on as a whole at CBC. And to see them go out, and again, it was from start to finish. I mean, I tuned in for an inning. That's all I really had to tune in for because it was kind of out of hand. And I mean, obviously we'll see how the rest of the weekend goes. But from just the last night standpoint, it was great to see, you know, them come out offensively. The pitching was great too. I mean, they're a very balanced team. It was just a matter of can they put it together against lineups that have consistently good at bats, and obviously a team like Kansas who's got pretty good arms. And so far, so good, and won 1 game of this series.
Did y'all see all the people tweeting at Noah about Kansas being frauds? Like, they were like, "Oh, I thought Noah Darling said this team was good." Oh, no.
I still think Kansas is good.
They are good.
Night falter. I think that TCU is better than they have been, and they've been punching down and beating up teams. But seeing them go out and beat a Kansas team, I think it's good for TCU baseball. I really do. I think that there's an equal amount of talent in the Big 12. I think there's a lot of teams that are very, very close. And we're going to talk about another one here in Oklahoma State who went out there and is finally over 500 again. I think that there's more talent in this conference than people give them credit for, but I don't think it's very top heavy. I really do believe, I agree with Micah, that it's pretty even across the board. The bottom teams and the top teams are not that far, at least not that huge separation. There's not really a gorge between them. Tennessee 3, Ole Miss 2. Liam Doyle strikes again, man. 8 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, 14 strikeouts. Marin double scores 2 in the second. Inslee RBI in the 5th. 2-run home run for Foley, just not enough for Ole Miss. But man, Jake, Liam Doyle.
Oh, master class.
This was okay. I don't mean before you go, Jake. This was the best game of the night. This game was must watch. Like, I'm known ACC guy, also again now known Aggie lover. I didn't watch anything but, like, to preface, I had to work our Lamar baseball game last night, so I'm in the press box doing our game. But I have one screen that's for our graphics. But I only have to post graphics every 3 innings, guys. So the rest of the time it's on some baseball. I did not turn away from Tennessee Ole Miss. This game, like, Jake, I'll let you go, but I didn't see a loser last night. Like, obviously Ole Miss lost the game. but I actually gained a lot more respect for Ole Miss. That was just so much fun to watch. Seeing Swayze back to what we've seen it in the past, the energy. Chef's kiss, Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. There was one point, and it was such a meaningless play, but Isaac Humphrey caught like a lazy fly ball, and they panned to the crowd, and it was just like, it looked like an MLB The Show field, like where everything's full. It was absolutely rowdy. I think my favorite part of the night, though, was every time Liam Doyle struck somebody out, he'd like point and tell him to like get back to the dugout. Like, that dude is an absolute psycho in like the best way possible. 14 Ks. Like, again, he pitched great. I did like how they buzzed Andrew Fisher's chin in the first inning on a 3-ball count. It was just amazing to see. I'm sure that the chirping was pretty good. Tennessee wins.
QB 0.
Yeah, did Tennessee win the baseball game? Did they sell their soul to win that one last night to lose quarterback Nico Iamaleava? I'm gonna leave you, right?
I'm gonna leave you, Nico. Manny Marin, he had a pretty good game too. I know he had the double, but he also stole a few hits too as well. Had some really high quality at bats.
Yeah. I was watching this game while I was golfing, and I had to go on the Bluetooth, and I had it on my phone. And my phone was almost dead by the end of the round because I could not stop watching this.
It was the game of the night.
I was going to ask why you were golfing at 10 o'clock at night, Mark, and then I remembered you live in Oregon. So
he's actually playing
that
the
makes
Masters.
a lot more
He's
sense
playing
now.
in the Masters this week, Micah.
I have to get golfing on Masters weekend, so I had to go play.
He's golfing under the lights there.
Yeah, that Mark's tee time was at 10:30 at Augusta.
One of these days, maybe. Oklahoma State 4, Arizona 2. Cowboys are back over 500 now as they beat Arizona on the road. 10 innings it took. Walton homered for Arizona in the bottom of the ninth to send this one to extras. But then the single in the 10th puts Oklahoma State back on top. Harrison Bodendorf goes all 10 innings there, Jake, and just 3 hits and 10 Ks.
Don't go to Jake and let Jake flex on Oklahoma State. We had a conversation 3 days ago, Mark. So we're planning a trip in the beginning of May where we're going to go see Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma State, UCF, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and then we're potentially going to catch Kansas versus Cincinnati. And Jake goes, we can skip Oklahoma State. They're not very good this year.
Wow.
And he is now wearing an Oklahoma State hat and flexing as if he's been on Oklahoma State all year long. Not the guy that put him in his Omaha 8 to begin the season. Not the guy that put him in his bracketology this week, even though they were under 500 going into the week. No, Jake's over here flexing. Don't give Jake the love here.
Hands up. Hands up. I what I had said was I said we could swap that one out. Because first off, I didn't want to go to that game because I don't think Cincinnati's very good. But you convinced me. It's like, okay, we can swap it out for.
No. Oklahoma State was UCF, not Cincinnati.
UCF, Oklahoma State.
No.
Jake, it's Kansas.
Kansas that I tried to convince you to do.
Yeah, Kansas, Cincinnati.
Against Cincinnati.
Yeah, and I will say this, Mark. You since you're kind of our known Arizona guy, since they're considered West Coast. How much are they missing Brendan Summerhill? Because they feel like a different
He's a big engine for the offense. He doesn't necessarily have to produce all the runs, but he kind of keeps them going and keeps that offense rolling. They're kind of just missing a guy right now, and you've seen it. When they struggled out against Grand Canyon the other day, like you just see the offense is just kind of misfiring. Like they get guys on and then they can't figure it out, or they can't get guys on in certain positions, and they just really are having a hard time scoring.
I mean, that's a real thing that a lot of people don't really talk about. Is it's only one guy in a 1 through 9, but everybody kind of gets a little bit more tense when somebody like him's missing. Like we've seen
Mason White's been struggling because of it, I think, because really he doesn't have a guy around him that he can lean on and say, okay, there's another guy that they got to pitch to, and he's not seeing a ton of good pitches, and then he's just kind of struggling up there as well. I think he's pressing.
Yeah, and his defense out and right too. Like he's an absolute cannon. They need to get. Is there any timetable for him to return?
They have not said. I mean, they're really quiet anyway. Chip's really silent out there when it comes to injuries, but they haven't said anything, which kind of leads me to believe that it's going to be a little bit longer than they wanted to in first. But
is there going to be a team where if they get to be a 2 or a 3 and they get Summerhill healthy, that they're going to be a completely underseeded team? Because I think he's probably one of. I think Mike and I talked about it after that Houston series. I think he's a top 10 pick when he's healthy.
This is a team that's had a pair of long winning streaks in between some of these bad losses, and you just look at them and go, they're not the team they are today, but what team can they be? Because they do have a lot of talent. They do have a lot of guys, and the pitching has gotten better throughout the season, which is something that I was really worried about, their starting pitching, replacing all 3 of those starters from a year ago. I think that they're better. I think this more speaks to that Oklahoma State's trying to punch back and get back into this thing.
They can hit. Oklahoma State's never been not able to hit. If they can figure out stuff behind Bodendorf, I think that's where they'll become a really, really dangerous team. Obviously, I think they're still kind of working through some of their health stuff as well, because I think Avery Ortiz isn't back yet.
Yeah.
I think he's actually done for the year, though. I'd have to double check with somebody at Oklahoma State on that one. But Schubart's kind of starting to hit it again. Everybody kind of forgot he's, one of the best hitters in college baseball, I will say.
Yeah, we'll see what this Oklahoma State team does. They really need to keep that offense rolling. If they can get another one at Arizona this weekend, it speaks volumes toward the direction that they are heading. LSU and Auburn. LSU 4, Auburn 8. Auburn scores 2 in the second, then puts a 3-run triple there from Ike Irish in the fifth. That provides all the offense that they would need to hold on to victory. Holding LSU to just 6 hits on the evening in Plainsman Park. Samuel Dutton continues to show that he's a Friday night ace. This guy just keeps going out there and giving them a chance every single Friday. 6 innings, 3 hits, 7 Ks, 0 runs there.
Revenge game, too.
Yeah.
Revenge game, because he pitched at LSU last year.
Yeah, it's just a tremendous effort there from him, though. He's just been really, really good on Friday nights, man. He's
been the most Saturday, Friday night guy in a complimentary way. Like, he's been Drake Birmingham said that last night on one of my other shows, but I think that's the best way to describe how Sam Dutton is. He gives you long, long outings. He saves that bullpen. Because in the other 2 games, this is what's so weird is Auburn treats the other 2 games like Sunday. Like, they piece together 3 innings. But Ike Irish, I mean, what more can you say about him? Just an incredible, incredible talent. He's clearly back to 100%, which, Cooper McMurray had another RBI too. I feel like he kind of breathes a little bit easier. But, we talked about it, how with Arizona being out or with Summerhill being out, everybody kind of gets tense. I think the same was true for Auburn with Ike Irish. Yeah. Everybody kind of breathes a little bit easier. Bub Terrell, I think, is still continuing to take incredible at-bats. Eric Snow. It's a deep, deep lineup. And again, I don't really think LSU, this could be an anomaly and they come back and win the next 2 in the series. But, congratulations to Sam Dutton. I know that it was probably hard to control his emotions at times.
Just a big win for Auburn, though. They continue to go out there and find these big wins and figure out ways to win series here in SEC play. Butch Thompson's got to be one of those short-list candidates right now for the guy that's coach of the year. I mean, he's just been doing so well with this team, and it's a guy who's never missed the tournament back-to-back years, so Auburn is definitely back, and just pencil him in the tournament right now.
Sharpie,
yeah, I'm sick to my stomach because in our Southern Fried Baseball pick'em, Caleb and I are going back and forth neck and neck. Caleb, known Auburn fan, has picked Auburn every week. He got the Auburn-Vandy series right when I picked – or one of the series that I picked against Auburn. Oh, Auburn-Alabama.
Alabama.
And I was like, man, I really think Auburn's going to beat LSU. But I've also been known – I'm on the record now. LSU fans hate me because I just never give them the credit they think they deserve. I always have them number 3. I put Clemson ahead of them in my top 25, and you would have thought, like I said, that LSU is college baseball because they're not the best Tiger-branded team in college baseball in my head. And so – I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust LSU to go on the road here. They're going to prove that I've been wrong on them not being a top 3 team, all this stuff. And then last night happens, and I'm just like, but I didn't back it up by picking Auburn in the pick'em. So I'm just in my head right now, guys. I'm going through a slump. It feels like
I'm married to LSU because ever since I enlisted in General Jay's Army, so.
That's true. You have to by legal reasons.
Yeah, but also I've had people in my DM saying that I need to pick against LSU because I'm a bad luck.
Because it's better for them if you pick against them.
Yeah. So I mean, A&M fans figured that out.
And we got to talk about too. I know we're talking about the LSU thing, but just to do what they did last night after what they did on Tuesday against Georgia Tech, where that back and forth affair in the midweek, where Georgia Tech had a chance to walk it off in the 9th or the 10th. I can't remember if that game went to extras or not, but that game was crazy. It felt like a regional game on a Tuesday night, and then to come back at home on Friday against a top 5 team in LSU and do what they did. I mean, that again speaks volumes to what they're doing as a collective unit, but kind of speaks volume as I didn't put Auburn as a host in my bracketology. When I redo it this weekend, if they win this series, hello Auburn, hello Plainsman Park in a regional, and maybe even fringing towards a super if things keep going. So really, honestly, Auburn is. I knew they were going to be a tournament team this year, Mark, because what you said, he's not missing 2 years in a row. But this is really good stuff from them.
Yeah, I like Auburn.
Regional would cure famines.
I mean,
throw Troy in there and just make it electric.
Yeah,
Southern Miss down there.
That'd be fun too.
Let's go to this one though. This was a big weekend series here for ACC ball. Louisville at NC State, 11-13. This is not the pitcher's duel that we thought we might get on Friday night with these two teams. Wolfpack went in a shootout, back and forth games, 5 different lead changes in this one. It was crazy through those first 5 innings. And then Jacob Duden comes in out of the pen and just shuts down Louisville. And also, NC State didn't score much the rest of the game either. But the big difference was Jacob Duden coming out of the pen, 4 innings, just 1 hit, just shut Louisville down.
Yeah, this was tough, Mark, because this is the preview game before going to Ole Miss. Obviously, Ole Miss Tennessee started an hour later, so this was what was on the laptop to start. And when I turned off, it was 6-1 Louisville in the third, and I'm like, okay, like Forbes does have a tendency to have a bad inning, but I'm thinking it's going to be like again, like they're going to win this one 11, like kind of what the score was, like a 13-11, 11-9, like if it does come back to being close, but. No, and it's the thing, you have to give so much credit to NC State because this is back-to-back weekends against very talented teams. They had Virginia last week at home. They lost on Friday night, but they battled back to make it competitive late in that game. Virginia was up like 9-1, 9-2. It was kind of over, and then the final score was a 2-run game.
Yeah.
Then on Sunday, obviously, they battle all the way back to walk it off with the grand slam with 2 outs to win that one. Then they do it again obviously not as late heroics this time around. They do it a little bit earlier in the game, but they battle back from a 7-2 deficit to win this one against one of the best Friday night guys in the country, let alone the ACC and Patrick Forbes. I mean, this NC State team is with Coach Avent, like they looked kind of not dead to rights a couple weeks ago, but you could tell he was like, this is just mental. This team's just going to have to just get over the hump themselves. Like, I can't do anything for them. Like, this has got to be them. And they've kind of figured it out. I mean, I don't, again, I'm no Louisville lover here. So if anyone wants to disagree with me, I don't think this tells me anything that Louisville's not special. I just think that NC State maybe deserved to be ranked this past week, guys, and just wasn't getting enough because of how they struggled at the beginning of the year. And I'm all for top 25s having to include your resume. But I mean, this NC State team is, I mean, they are, and again, the bullpen is looking like the bullpen that they had last year and what we expected them to be. Like Duden is doing what Duden's doing. Smith is going to come out and do his thing. Like, yeah, I mean, the fact that they had such a terrible outing from their Friday night guy and Dominic Fritton, and they still win this ball game should tell you everything you need to know about this NC State ball.
This NC State team's full of piss and vinegar, man. They come out there and they just keep battling. It doesn't seem to matter to them. I mean, even the Sunday night game that they won last week against Virginia, where they were down late, they have to come back and walk that thing off with a home run. I feel like this NC State team is just never out of it, and I just love the effort that they're putting forward lately. This is a team that's had some win streaks.
It feels like I froze. No, that's just my face. I feel like every time somebody gives them credit, they kind of fall, and then every time we like leave them out of stuff, they like rise to the occasion. Like they're
NC State, you're the worst team in the ACC. Clip it, put it out there, and then now they're gonna go win the national championship. NC State fans, you're welcome. Remember,
hey, that's fine for me because I keep picking them in the pick'em in our pick'em league there, Micah, and they continue to.
Mark the West Coast guys out here running the ACC.
Yeah, Mark's running the ACC pick'em. I wanted to bring that up on the show. It's not even close. He's got like a 5-game lead almost.
It's funny, like the ACC guy is running the Southern Fried Baseball SEC pick'em, and then the West Coast guy is running the ACC pick'em.
You know what it is,
Baseball's a weird sport, guys.
It's because we're picking with our brains and not our hearts. So we're going in and we're looking at it from a clear eyes. Like we're going, all right, what do we think the actual series is versus like, tugging at my heartstrings. Like,
yeah,
nope.
like I literally picked like on our show, Mark. I don't know if you watched it. I picked NC State, and then like midway through, Monty was giving me a hard time, like, wow, you're the Louisville guy, and you're picking against Louisville. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I can't say I love Louisville and not pick them. And then I switch it, and then last night happens, and it's like.
Yeah, the only controversial one I've had so far is the Georgia Tech-Stanford series, but I did take Georgia Tech, and that one I felt pretty good about it. But, that was a tough one for me on that side. Let's talk about something that's not difficult. Chinook Seedery, man. Guys, go on, use our code CBC. You get 10% off your entire order. ChinookSeedery.com. They have sampler packs. They've got 8 different flavors. If you can't find a seed from these guys that you like, then there's something wrong with you. The seeds are massive. They're great flavor. I know I take them with me everywhere. I had packs on the golf course, and guys were just crushing them out of my bag last night. Sunflower seeds, I cannot stop with the Hatch chili now that I've gotten hooked. I think the Hatch chili has its hooks in me. I was a smokehouse barbecue guy a lot. Hatch chili.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you could create your own Chinook flavor, what would it be?
Ooh, Chinook flavor for me.
I have a hot landish take. This is not a shot. This is not a Chinook. I mean, I want Chinook to come up with this, but I don't know if it would actually sell. I'm a sicko for peanut butter and jelly flavored anything. Like I'm the peanut butter and jelly burger guy. I want a peanut butter and jelly like sunflower seed. I'm a big sweet and savory combo guy. You're telling me the salty, sweet and savory? I'm in. I know it's psychotic. I don't care. So if you want to do something crazy, Chinook, and go viral for a weird flavor, I will buy every box.
Maybe that should be their April Fool's prank.
For me, I'm not so much of a spicy hot guy, but I think that they need a little bit more of a kick, just something like a super hot wing or something.
Like a Dave's hot chicken.
How about a honey sriracha? That would be kind of.
I like that. I like that. Just something with a little bit more zip to it. The Hatch chili is great flavor. I just don't think it's as spicy as some folks would like. If you give them a spicy seed, some folks really like that.
The jalapeno ranch, Mark, was. I mean, I don't know. Maybe my allergies are just on one right now, so anything can cause them to drain. But yesterday, by the way, I got to give Chinook a huge shout out because they have literally fed me on Fridays in Lent. For those that don't know, I am Catholic, so I do the tradition right of no meat. And when you're working at a ballpark, our ballpark at Lamar is not serving fish sandwiches or anything besides a soft pretzel that's not got meat on it. So I've just been like yesterday. I had a pack of jalapeno ranch pregame, and then in game I had the smokehouse barbecue. Like I mean, I've probably gone through 2 or 3 boxes just on the Fridays in Lent because that's kind of been. I mean, obviously I'll eat a lunch of some sort, but my ballpark fare is just Chinook Cedary seeds on Fridays in Lent. So shout out to Chinook for helping me.
I got a pro tip for you that someone clued me in on. That's been my go-to right now. You mix the cinnamon toast with the smokehouse barbecue.
I'm doing that today. That sounds incredible.
That's
amazing.
Tremendous.
It's amazing. I think Chinook actually came up with that one.
I am mixing that, and I'm due for a ballpark food review on my page. So maybe that's what I'm going to do today.
I did one on Thursday, right, Micah?
The people have been mixing the jalapeno ranch and the Hatch chili to get those two flavors combined. I like that one. I've made a little baggie of those, but I love the mixing of the flavors. Get after it, folks. Go out there, get Chinook Cedar. They're the best on the planet. I am running out. I got to place a new order this week. CBC, 10% off your entire order, guys. Go out there and get them. Best seeds on the planet. USC and Penn State. I know that we talked about USC earlier, Micah, as we talked about this Big Ten. USC 1, Penn State 3. USC could only score 1 in the third with a bases-loaded walk. They just didn't take advantage of that scenario early in that game. Paxton Kling gets the home run in the 7th and then a sac fly in the 8th. It's enough for Penn State to power. Ryan DeSanto and Diamond Loosely combined for just 4 hits against this USC team that should hit a lot better than this. Tremendous effort, though, from Penn State to get that win 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, they're a high-quality team. It's been night and day. Paxton Kling, even Brady Neal to some extent, Sam Dutton. Those people that kind of leave LSU with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, a lot of them, they've made the right decision, if you will. It's great to see Paxton Kling, who's a Pennsylvania guy, come back home, have the kind of at-bats that he's having. But do you put any stock, Mark, in – because the ACC, it doesn't seem to matter in those cross-country road trips. Because the ACC, it seems like they can do it, but the Big Ten, it doesn't seem like they really struggle with those.
Well, let's wait till we see today, right? Because Oregon's going and playing Maryland. They play Maryland today, and then they play a doubleheader tomorrow. I think that some of these have taken a little bit of toll, but it's not as bad. But the Big Ten has definitely shown that it's a lot harder to go north and northeast. Part
of it might just be, too, the fact that the weather is much different. Like the ACC teams that are hosting, like for the most part, I mean, obviously, because I really hasn't been, like, I don't think Boston College or Pitt has hosted like a Stanford or Cal yet. Like, those trips are a lot different because the temperature changes are different. So much changes. We're like down in like if you going from like North Carolina and Stanford, like it's obviously a little bit chilly. When they played, it was a little bit chillier in Chapel Hill than Palo Alto, but it wasn't like it was night and day. Like you went from
LA
95 to 25.
Rural Pennsylvania.
Correct. Like LA to rural, and for those of you that have never been to why am I drawing a blank on the name of the
Happy
city?
Valley.
But yeah, I was going to name the actual city. But anyways, State College, like it is a 20-degree difference just from State College to Pittsburgh.
It is.
I think that might play a role into it as well as it's just an overall, just the pure. I mean, Oregon probably has a little bit less of an adjustment, but again, you're also talking about altitude change. That you're going from high up there to down to Maryland where you're barely above sea level, if you even are above sea level. Like, it's just different.
Yeah, I think that's more of it, right, Micah? I agree with Micah that it's more like the weather is the hardest thing. Like you're asking USC to go up and play at Michigan, like that's a little bit tougher for
How
them.
do they get ready for that? Like, do you think they just like get into like an indoor facility and jack up
They
the
asked the local
temperature?
ice rink if they could put down some
Yeah.
mats and just do BP
All
in the
right,
ice rink.
boys, we're going shirtless practice today, and they just crank down the AC.
We're gonna spray rain on you all day with the hose. All right, Mississippi State 13, Alabama 3. Hines homered in the third, Reeves homers in the fourth. Mississippi State finally realizes, hey, you know what? We remember how to hit baseballs, and we're going to get right back into this race. Bama does answer with 3 in the fourth there. LeBron home run, of course. He steps up, but then that's all they would get the whole game. Big statement here for Mississippi State, Jake.
Yeah, this is back-to-back kind of subpar starts for he's been showing the last 2 weeks. They're going to need to get him right if they want to have any chance, because it kind of feels like this is the same thing that Bama did last year, where they were the hottest team in the country. Everybody's talking about them hosting, and then they quickly fade and get bounced super early in a regional. But Mississippi State can absolutely mash. They had 9 extra base hits yesterday. Hunter Hines has been back. Sawyer Reeves had a couple really good at-bats. Ace Reese continued his hot streak. But I think the thing for me is they feel so comfortable on Friday night with Pico Khan going. I think that it's probably one of the most confident teams in the country from their Friday night guy.
He didn't even have a great day. He was out in 4 innings.
I know, and that's the thing that's so good, though, is they feel like they hit so well on these Friday nights, which is so weird because I feel like, especially the Oklahoma series, they hit really good from an at-bat standpoint. Obviously, it didn't show up in the numbers because Kyson Witherspoon was a really good pitcher than they did on Sunday later in the series. So they need to figure something out outside of Pico Khan from a just confidence standpoint. But Mississippi State does just enough to kind of tease you. They've also quietly won 3 or 4 after they took that series from South Carolina. They're starting to kind of get back into the hunt here, if you will.
If they can hit like they are right now, they're a team that can stay in ball games. That's the biggest thing for them. They got to keep hitting like they are. They got to keep rolling. They got to remember, hey, we're a team that can hit and hit our way into any game. And last night was no different there. But 13 runs, big against Alabama. Tough loss at home for Zane Adams in Alabama there. Stanford 1, Clemson 11. Stanford travels over. Clemson holds Stanford to just 2 hits on the evening. Just crazy to see. Knack was really good. The 6 innings, the 2 hits, of course, the 1 run on the solo home run. Clemson scores in 5 of the 6 innings, just dominant the whole time, Micah.
Clemson's the best team in the ACC right now, and I don't even know if it's really close. Like, Florida State's got their struggles. I think Florida State, when they're on, has an argument to be the best team in the ACC. But, I mean, Clemson, that's the thing is, like, Clemson can win games in resilient ways. They can battle back. They can be scrappy. And then they can also just come out and just, 9 innings of pure terror. I mean, what they're doing, again, Aiden Knox, one of the better Friday night guys in the country. So you have that going for you. We're not obviously previewing the rest of the series, but they finally are starting to figure out their Sunday spot. That was their major concern for the last couple of weeks. But, for them, it's just that lineup. I mean, they have guys on the bench that would be starting in half the ACC, if not more, right now. I mean, it is amazing what they can do with that depth. And I mean, right, Eric Backage is an evil genius. He's gonna get creative. He's gonna do fun things. He's gonna move guys on. He's gonna do things that 90% of coaches in the country will not do to win baseball games. So, I mean, Clemson's dangerous. And I mean, Mark, my biggest thing is what is wrong with Stanford? I mean, like, I think they came out a little bit hotter than, like, again, I probably overreacted to what happened in Chapel Hill, but to just kind of fall off the face. I mean, they're what's it? I think 7 straight ACC losses now.
10.
10
straight.
10 straight. Yeah, that's right. They got swept 3 times in a row. You're right.
3 in a row.
I mean, I forgot about the Georgia Tech sweep before Virginia. I mean, that's just, oh my goodness. I mean, they might actually be the worst team in the ACC, which, I mean, yeah. I never would have thought that in a million years a month ago.
This was a team that I was telling everybody, hey, this is my Omaha 8 team before the season, right? I was like, this is a team that's back. They're going to be really good. The starting pitching is going to be really good. And what, Jake?
Don't kill them yet.
No, I'm not killing them.
They're not dead yet.
No. Good things happen when you kill teams. You're dead.
They got Notre Dame. They got Boston College. They have Wake coming out.
The problem is, Jake, is they're if you look at their resume right now from an RPI standpoint, like, I think if you do well in the ACC, like, again, if you're in the middle of the pack, you're probably in, just like the SEC. But beating Notre Dame and Pitt and that bottom of that stuff is not gonna help you. I mean,
they have a top 10 non-conference RPI, Micah. So
I
they get a
know,
little bit more leeway.
but again, it's not going
And
to
they
help
still have
you.
Grand Canyon.
So.
We'll see.
I mean,
I'm not killing this Stanford team. I think that they still have a lot of talent. I think they got to figure some things out. The weekend rotation has not been what it was to start this season, right?
If three of the best starters in names in the country, I mean, they legitimately
Scott.
were preseasing it. Like one of the best, like they had. You looked at around the country and you're like, this is a top 5 rotation. I mean, Team USA, Team USA, Team USA. Yeah, there you go. That wasn't Noah, but it's just Joey Vellini. Like I mean, last night, right? It was Matt Scott who, for the first time, I don't, Mark, if you've watched our show, Nick is the one that always jinxed the X Factor pitchers and mine always shove. Well, I finally had my first bad outing from my X Factor with Matt Scott.
Oh, so, Matt Scott, yeah. I mean, Matt Scott has switched to the Sunday rule. He's a Friday night.
That's right. You're right.
They swapped him with Volchko.
That's right.
And Kim has been that Saturday guy. He's been so good over the past few years. And just they're all struggling. They're all stumbling. They can't seem to find the zone. They can't seem to get outs. They can't seem to get that big out right now. But they're also not hitting. And this is a team that was crushing the ball early in the season to go out there and get these victories. It's a really big head scratcher. They got to figure out some way to turn it around. I mean, they still got 2 more games here at Clemson. I don't think that they're going to win both the games, but if they can go out to steal one of these 2 games, I think it says a lot more for them moving forward in the season. And maybe the easier half of the season, we'll say, for them in ACC play begins next weekend. So hopefully they can make a turn. I think this is still a tournament caliber team, but they have to start showing it. You have to show it versus me just putting you in that tournament bracket.
I'm just sad that the Sunken Diamond Regional feels like it's pretty much dead at this point.
Oh, that thing's dead.
It's
we can kill that one.
Such a cool stadium too, so much fun. But man, they did just when you can't take 1 of 3 in any of those series, you can't even take 1 at home. Granted, Georgia Tech might be the hottest team in the country, but man.
Here's your question then: How many? Because they always try and rig it to get at least 3 West Coast teams, including Arizona. Who are the 3 going to be? It's Oregon State, a Big West winner.
The thing with Oregon, though, is their RPI is so bad.
They're not.
I mean, I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but like, if they bend the rules for a regional host with an RPI in the 70s, that is, I mean, at this point, we might as well just get rid of the whole RPI system, and which, I mean, I'm not necessarily against, but like,
they're also
don't tell me RPI matters
right
then, because an RPI is again, blind resume RPI 70 means you shouldn't even be in the tournament half the time, let alone hosting a regional. Like that's what I'm so confused what to do with the West Coast, because like again, like Oregon State is probably going to get it no matter what, but even them, like if they continue to kind of be wishy-washy, there's going to be people down south, right? Like SEC folk going, no, Ole Miss deserves it more, which I mean, I
will say this, Mark. I think Oregon State's about
regional.
I think they're about 2 bad losses away from not being a host.
Listen, there was only 2 West Coast hosts last year. Yeah. And it was Oregon State, Arizona.
That's what's crazy is Irvine's kind of lost that thunder from UCSB a host standpoint. UCSB
can Poly host? Do they have the capacity to host?
Who?
Cal Poly.
They'd have to play at a minor.
Cal Poly loses to Hawaii last night, so maybe
they lost last night.
That was their first loss. Okay, let's. That was their first loss.
Jake, they still play UCSB. UC Irvine and Hawaii this weekend. That Cal Poly has been playing.
Hey, they have that quality win now against that Texas A&M Fighting Aggies team, or Fighting Texas A&M.
And they beat Oregon State one game as well.
Yeah, they did beat Oregon State. That's why I'm high on them, by the way. It's because of that Oregon State game.
They came back and won. They scored 4 in the 9th.
I just don't know if the Big West can justify with how it's not the Big West of old. If they can really justify if they're not.
You're talking that
night and day.
4 teams in the tournament. I mean 3.
Oh yeah, no. But I just think from a regional host standpoint, I don't want to make this a bracketology show, but I feel like we're at the point now where we're kind of at that, that turning point of the sport where is the word regional going to matter as much, or is it going to be maybe not the 16 best, but 16 of the top 20? Because I mean, again, there's a lot of teams out west. I think the West and the Midwest make up a lot of the 20 through 30 range. And so I am all for pulling them if they want to make that regional decision. It's why I put Kansas as a host in my bracketology. I think that the Midwest deserves a spot. Oklahoma State kind of fell off, right? So I don't think they're going to be able to get to that.
Kansas State's fallen off.
Yeah,
I don't think they care about the word regional, though, Micah. I really don't believe that they care about regional. I think that they're looking at it and they're saying,
it's the TV times.
Who's the 16 that we can host, and where are the times that we can make these games work?
Yeah.
I do believe that Oregon State, as long as they stay the path, I mean, they've still got Iowa coming up. They've got the series at Oregon and at Hawaii, so they have some really tough games coming up. If they can go win some of those games, I think that puts them in it.
I think if Arizona stays in that top 2 of the Big 12, I think they'll just get the benefit of the doubt. Just because, again,
without Brendan Summerhill, they're not really top 2 anymore.
But I'm saying that they can kind of hang around in there, and then again, if they announce Summerhill's done for the year, then maybe that changes things. But if there's like hey, he's coming back the last couple weeks of May, I think there's an argument of not throwing out the struggles they've had, but kind of just being like, okay, because again, their RPI is still in the top 30, 40 range. Like, I don't know, it's gonna be fun to track.
Here's another thing that you can look at if you're talking about West Coast regional. UCLA, if they can somehow win the Big Ten,
yes, UCLA,
but quietly
they don't really have the best home situation either.
No, they don't, and they lost last night to Washington at Washington.
I also just judged them for losing the Texas A&M Corpus Christi, who's 0-2 against NAIA teams. So,
but
I know that's not fair. But I mean,
they don't have
I
rights.
look at that and I just get angry every time I think about
it. Someone who knows more about it, I don't think they have the rights to that stadium to host it.
Their contract technically ends at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
They're done at the end of the regular season, so they'd have to figure out a way.
Dodger Stadium Regional. Who says no?
The Dodgers.
Much as I hate Chavez Ravine, I'd see one there. Texas.
There's got to be a minor league team there, right?
I don't know.
I'm sure.
Texas 6, Kentucky 3. Max Grubb's now 5-0 out of the bullpen, coming in tremendous relief there last night. Jared Spencer looked good in his start. 4 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run. Ethan Mendoza 4 RBIs for the win. Texas just keeps finding ways to win, Jake.
Yeah, this was a very professional approach. It's still the chip away, get into the bullpen early by running up a high pitch count. Then once we get in the bullpen exploding. We talked about it on Southern Fried Baseball. Can Texas keep getting away with only using 2 bullpen arms in a weekend? Friday night will say yes that they can, as Max Grubbs threw 866, Dylan Valentis to 11, so he's definitely going to pitch in the weekend. Yeah. But no home runs, so that was one thing is you kind of felt like at times Texas was too reliant on the home runs. They kind of showed everybody. Evan Mendoza just continues to impress. Kudo, Riley, and Galvan is still taking incredible at-bats. If they can get Kimball Schusler working towards it, and if they can get a left fielder, I think this becomes a really, really dangerous team really quick.
Yeah, it's kind of a quiet team to be sitting at number 2 in a lot of polls because they've just been really, really good, and they just keep finding out ways to win.
Mark, I don't know what side of Twitter you're on, but they have not been quiet at number 2.
They're quiet for me.
they're all over.
Their fans have been loud. I'm talking about their they're not going out there and they're not 10 running teams and just blowing teams out in the SEC. They're going out and winning games, and they're winning tough games on the road. The LSU series comes to mind, but or they were at home there, but they keep winning series, and that's the thing you have to do if you're Texas. Just keep it going out there and keep winning series, and you're going to be able to host. UCF, a team I was very high on at the beginning of the season, has struggled lately, but they go out and they beat Kansas State 15-3 last night. UCF scores 5 runs in the first, starting off with the Jimenez home run. Never really looking back. They scored in 7 of the 9 innings last night, Micah. And I know that you're going to go try to see this team. Chase Crewson, 5 for 5, 3 RBIs. Angelo Smith comes in early, going 4 innings of relief, just 3 hits. Tremendous effort from UCF. I mean, are they working their way back?
It's funny. I get roasted for not ranking them. I rank them the next week, and then they start that just complete decline that kind of, again, puts them in the bottom of the Big 12. I started to believe in Kansas State. Kansas State now is starting to struggle. And I'll give Jake credit. Jake has been on me all year that Kansas State might not be as good as I thought they were going to be. I won't say Jake said they were bad, but again, middle of the pack to missing the tournament type Big 12 team. And it's just, I don't know what to make of the Big 12. I don't I feel like Cincinnati's good, but then I watch some Cincinnati baseball and I'm like, is it really again, they're very hitting hot and cold. Like Utah and BYU, I think are capable of being scrappy, but at the same time, there's really not too much to believe that they're NCAA tournament quality teams, obviously.
Yeah.
If UCF can sweep this series, I'll start talking about them kind of being back in the picture. But I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to feel like the Big 12 is almost doing itself a disservice by just constantly cannibalizing itself, because I hate to say it, but in the world where there's a lot of good mid-major teams, like again, the Southland comes to mind for me, right? Because I work in it. There's multiple teams. The Big West being a 4-bid. The American looks for once like they have more than just ECU and then maybe whoever wins the conference tournament with
ECU might miss the tournament.
And UTSA. Like Conference USA with DBU, Western Kentucky, a Liberty, and then again Louisiana Tech's at the top of the standings. So you're running the risk of if the Big 12 has multiple 16 and 14 in conference play teams and a 6 or 7 game above 500, the attractive number of a 35 and 16 record for Western Kentucky as an at-large might be more attractive than Cincinnati. And so it's just going to be I again,
You
I
could
love
say that the
watching
Big
Big
Ten
12
too,
baseball
buddy.
because you just never know what you're going to get. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, in Kansas State, like I'm starting to worry about them again because I kind of thought maybe they kind of figured it out. Like they were a team after knew they lost a decent amount, but I mean, again, they were
went and
knocking on
won.
Omaha's door last year. I
They
mean,
won that Dallas tournament too.
yeah,
I mean, granted, Frisco kind of kicked him in the teeth, but that's another one where LSU fans have been in my mentions saying that I said that Kansas State's not a good team. They're not. I'm sorry.
They've been struggling lately. I think they're coming back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's everybody in the Big 12, though, honestly. I think that it's just kind of flattening out. Big 12, Big 10 teams, you got to really go on a tear here late because there's a lot of mid-majors that are just biting at your ankles right now trying to get in that tournament. Southern Miss 5, Texas State 2. Monsteri hits the home run there early and then gets them going. Carson Pito also RBI double in the third as the Golden Eagles take this one. Texas State doesn't score until the ninth inning, but a big win for a road series here for Southern Miss, especially with Troy losing their game.
Yeah, I think that Texas State's already accomplished what they wanted to accomplish this year. They beat Texas A&M and they beat Texas. That's really all that seems to matter to them.
Yeah, they love
that's it.
Texas State, best midweek team in college baseball. Not so great on the weekends though, for whatever.
They've been so good midweeks the last 3 seasons. It's crazy.
I mean, Southern Miss is just a better team. Like at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to.
They just keep going out there and finding ways to win too, because it doesn't feel like they're really dominating any weekends. But they keep going out there and they just win these little ball games 5-2, 5-3, 5-4. They're not putting up a ton of runs, but the weekend rotation's been really good for them and good enough to go out there and win games in this conference. So
I think they've played the gauntlet, I believe. Like they've played UL, they've played that side of it.
They still finish with Troy at the end of the last weekend of the series is Troy.
No, they have UL and Troy coming up. I mean, so I guess they have kind of played a little bit of the lighter set. They took 2 of 3 from, but I mean, they have a really good RPI, Southern Miss. Maybe they could kind of work in to be that mid-major host.
Yeah, we'll see. Oregon State 7, Fullerton 3. Craig and Narquette both homer in the victory. Kirshner hits 2 home runs for Fullerton, but it's not enough. Eric Segura out of the pen, back in his normal spot, coming out of the bullpen there. Goes for the final 5 innings for the Beavers as they just use the 2 pitchers, 2 hits, 7 Ks, and 1 run. Oregon State is kind of trying to play their way back into being that maybe getting closer to the top 8 seeds, but really trying to solidify themselves as a host there. I know I'm the West Coast guy. I was keeping track of this game all along. You know, it's weird because you're just not seeing the offensive numbers that you thought you'd see, but you're seeing better numbers from the pitching side. It's tremendous there. I think that Oregon State is kind of working their way back. They got a big 8 games here on the road down in California before they keep traveling there. They have a ton of road games here. They don't have a whole lot of home. I think they have 1 more home weekend series left only, and it's the last weekend of the year. They're on the road. They're going to be road warriors here down the stretch. I think that's going to tell us a lot more about this Oregon State team. Jake, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that Noah thinks that Oregon State's wildly overrated. I think all Oregon State needs to do from a tournament standpoint is just control their optics. Avoid a really bad loss from a series standpoint. Maybe every once in a while blow the doors off of somebody to kind of get everybody excited and be like, oh, yeah, Oregon State's still good. But, games like this, not very many people in the country are going to be tuning in. They're just going to go and check that box score, say, oh, Oregon State used 2 pitchers. They won on Friday night. Like, that's really all they have to do. Their RPI is going to be completely fine. I think that everybody in the country, wants them to host a super regional.
Yeah, according to Warren Nolan, they play in the best conference in college baseball. They have the highest RPI, the independent conference. The GID conference is, or GDI conference is the top conference in college baseball, according to Warren Nolan.
Listen, I think they're going to be fine, right? The road games coming up boost their RPI, and they're playing at Oregon. They're playing at Hawaii. Those are tough series on the road, especially. So I look forward to those games here, but I think that it just makes a big difference. Oregon State, if they keep winning weekend series, they're going to find their way into a host. I don't see them falling out of a host unless they really struggle. Say they get swept at Oregon or Hawaii takes 3 or 4 from them or sweeps them. That's really the only way you can look at this team not hosting at this point, just because they're on the road so much. And I think that they finish at home against Long Beach State, a series that they should sweep. West Virginia, 28-4 now with this win, 9-2 over Houston. Can I say that this team's been very quiet, Jake, and the fact that they're 28-4 now and they keep going out there and getting wins, lots of small ball, 15 hits, scored the 9 runs. Griffin Kern holds Houston to just 5 hits, and Reese Bessinger comes in and goes 3 innings of perfect relief. Is it West Virginia just quiet? Can I say that they're still quiet?
I don't know because they really haven't played anybody. And I will say this:
feels
Houston
that
on
way.
Friday night is a good win because that seems to be the only thing that they have figured out is they've beat TCU on a Friday night. But I mean, listen to this, Mark. Arizona, they lost a series to with Braden Summerhill.
Yeah.
Series win at BYU, where they lost on Thursday, swept Utah. Like they've played just the ultimate easy schedule.
Beat Oklahoma State in one game because they had to cancel the other two.
Yeah, where Oklahoma State's like players' houses were literally catching on fire.
Yeah.
They beat it. But they have an RPI. Like, their RPI. I thought that they would be way lower. Oh yeah,
No.
Non-conference strength of schedule of 295. That's
fair.
That is so terrible.
Hey, but they all they can do at this point, the schedule's already made, right? So you just got to go out and keep winning. And the fact that they're 28-4,
they're the ultimate paper tiger. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're I'm not saying they're an elite baseball team, but they keep going out there and winning. If they keep winning, I'm going to have to keep them in my top 25. 28-4 is nothing to scoff at, and you're playing in. It's not like they're playing in a non-conference; they're playing Big 12 ball now.
I would, if I was an SEC ACC team, I would pray that West Virginia gets sent to my regional as a 2 seed. That they are going to be the easiest 2 seed of all time, and then they'll beat Arkansas.
If they keep winning, Jake, they're going to be a 1 seed at this
That's what I said. They're going to host if they keep winning.
Like-
28-4. If they keep winning, Jake, you're not going to be able to keep them out.
Where
of
would you put
them
them in the
If they
ACC?
keep winning and they
Michael.
they get to, let's say they make it to the Big 12 championship. Maybe they don't win, but they make it. They're going to host.
Where would you put them in the
if they have a
ACC?
single digit loss in the loss column, they're going to host.
Where would they finish in the
I would
ACC
like that.
this year?
Probably 5th or 6th. I think West Virginia is pretty good. I get the whole paper tiger thing. You can say what you want. Like
They have a good bullpen.
There's no proof of concept here.
I said ACC. I said ACC. No, I don't.
But I get the whole they haven't played much of the Big 12. And I said the same thing with TCU, right? That's why it was nice to see them win against Kansas last night the way they did. But to pretend like West Virginia isn't a talented team that they lost obviously their number 1 guy, a top 5 pick, but like they still return a lot. The staff, I know obviously, of course drawing a blank on his name, Maisie.
Their coach.
Yeah, he steps away. He has the coach in waiting. It's not like the philosophy has really changed all that much. It's a fan base that, again, I gained a ton of respect after seeing what they brought to Chapel Hill last year for that super regional. Like,
It's a good fan base.
it's an attractive place to host a regional. Again, they have every reason. Like, again, you have every reason
the
to
view
doubt
of
them.
the parking lot.
What'd you say?
Micah,
What?
doesn't their stadium have like a view of like a parking lot?
There's a shopping center viewed up top, because it's built down or whatever. Like it's West Virginia.
It
It's
reminds
all
me of like
mountains.
Robert Morris.
It's the most
it reminds me of
uneven
Robert
state
Moore.
in the country.
Yeah.
It has the
But, like-
most undulation in the land.
But like it's one of those things where they can hit their staff. Their pitching rotation is not again, I don't think it's elite, but it's good enough.
Their
to get-
bullpen's been really good.
correct. Their bullpen's been phenomenal. Again, like at the end of the day, we're talking about a sport where we've got teams losing to UTSA in midweeks, and everybody like I understand like midweeks don't matter, but having only 4 losses in the middle of April should matter
It
at
does
some
matter
point.
to me.
Like,
I'm with you.
You have to be a good baseball team to only lose 4 games at this point in the year. I don't care if like
McNeese has only 5 losses, and I wouldn't.
they're a
put them
good team
in-
too. They should be considered as a ranked team.
They should be
I'm not
close to
saying
a
they
top
shouldn't be.
25.
Like McNeese being ranked would not shock me. And again, I work at Lamar. That I don't, right? That's my rival school. But to pretend like McNeese hasn't gone out, and again, McNeese has also played 3 NAIA teams, where that's not what West Virginia is doing. But like,
They played Queens.
but
Queens is
like,
pretty close.
that's a thing. Queens University of Charlotte, come send Jake a nice hateful letter. But
It's a very obscure poll from Jay.
But anyways, like I mean, I just think this West Virginia team, it's not a paper tiger. Again, I had them like 24th in my
Is it a
poll.
clay
Like I'm saying
tiger?
they're
They're
top
my
10
top
team
25.
with only 4 losses, but to
Yeah.
pretend like they're not a good team because they haven't played the top of the Big 12, and like again, like I think their best midweek win is Pitt, and that is one of the bottom teams in the ACC. So I get that, but I mean, like again,
Is
you
that the
have
one
to
that they
win
played
the
at
games.
PNC,
I think they played this one at West Virginia this time.
and then the next one's at PNC?
I don't know if they're doing a PNC game this year, but they've stopped
Let's
doing
move
that because
on.
it becomes a home game for West Virginia.
We got enough of West Virginia. I love them. I think that if they keep winning, they're gonna have a chance.
Mark,
Duke 13, Miami 3. Jake Hyde's big day for Powers. Duke past Miami. 4 runs in the first inning. They just keep it going. 2 for 4, 6 RBIs there for Hyde, including the grand slam. First time that really anybody made Griffin look human on a Friday night there, Micah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so sad. I think the ACC and college baseball as a whole is, I mean, I hate the whole, this team has to be good for the sport to be better, but seeing Miami down the way they have been the last 2 years has just been, it's been frustrating because I mean they're really like I don't want to say they're not competitive because they're holding their own, but I mean this is not the Miami Hurricanes of just I mean what we're 3 years removed from them hosting that regional, getting bounced by Texas at home, and now here you are. Like you missed the tournament last year. They're gonna miss the tournament at this point this year. I mean they're gonna have to turn a switch at some point. I think Duke has figured it out. So I think that's, I mean, maybe the silver lining here, but that's the problem is every team seems to be like the excuse for Miami has kind of been, oh, well, they played this good team. They played this good team. Well, at some point, if you're a good team, you have to beat a good team.
You got to beat good teams.
And again, they have that weekend series loss to UConn, which is never going to do them much justice. Like UConn, again, one of the better teams in the Big East. But like if you're trying to be an NCAA tournament team out of the ACC, you have to have those weekend wins. They obviously have the weekend loss to Florida, who's looking like one of the worst teams in the SEC, especially on weekends. So it's just like I'm sad. I'm genuinely sad for Miami because I love the old English M. I love the Miami Maniac. Mark Light shakes. You can roast the pimento cheese milkshake. That's what makes college baseball special. But like, I love that kind of stuff, and it's not translating onto the field in wins and losses.
Somebody shot me a message and said my mayo on a hot dog is still worse than that pimento cheese in the milkshake.
I think the mayo on the hot dog thing. By the way, Mark, I've started to see that as a trend down here in Texas, and it's kind of making me sick.
Hey,
but
it's like, delightful, bro.
I saw it at the Astros game the other night, and I saw it somewhere else too. And I can't remember where I saw it, and I was just like, "What is happening?" But
pushing the trend.
Honestly, Jake, if I was in Coral Gables right now, I would be getting the pimento cheese milkshake. I'm the psychopath that has to try that.
How many do you think they sell though? You think they sell 10?
Oh, I bet you they sell probably 25 to 50. There are people there, man, that are regulars, and they wait for like. I just got lucky when I went there last year. The special of the week was coconut cake. So like it didn't sound terrible, but sometimes again it's the pimento cheese or it's the Maine lobster, or it's the buffalo wing, like
the brisket. They did a brisket one.
That honestly sounds, that actually sicko me.
A brisket milkshake? No, it doesn't.
You're still getting brisket. Arizona State
brisket and a milkshake by itself, great. I mean, it's not like they're blending the brisket in the milkshake; it just sits on top with a little bit of barbecue sauce, like.
All right, the last one here. We got Arizona State 7, Cincinnati 11. We talked about both these teams already, and talking, Big 12, and it's just kind of beating itself up, putting up 4 in the first, and just Arizona State just puts up 4 in the first, and they're like, oh yeah, we're just going to cruise to victory. This is what we've been doing all season, and then they just give up 8 runs in the 7th and 8th innings there to Cincinnati. Cincinnati ends up walking away with this one. Bad loss for Arizona State. Good win for Cincinnati. I don't really know how to put this one. It just, Arizona State keeps finding themselves trying to climb back up to the leaderboard on the Big 12, and then they lose games like this on the road.
This is just the ultimate Arizona State type of game. I feel like I was talking to somebody at the beginning of the year about Big 12 people, and I'm like, Arizona State's always good, but they're never as good standings wise. And this is just the ultimate Arizona State game where you're just when you're okay, they'll go into Cincinnati, they can take 2 of 3 or sweep. They'll be right back in the hunt. And it's like they're perpetually in that 30 to 40 range forever. They're just stuck in purgatory. They're not bad, but they're also not top 25.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough, man. I've had Arizona State in my top 25 a couple times, and they go out there and they just start losing series. It's just really frustrating because this team has the ability. They have a Friday night ace in Ben Jacobs who threw well last night, and then when he came out of the game, the bullpen couldn't hold on to a lead. It's tough to see. And then Cincinnati, it's a good win for them. But again, they're one of those teams that's bottom third of the Big 12, and can they go out there and compete? I don't know. I think that this is just going to keep knocking Big 12 teams out of the tournament is what's going to end up happening, is that we're just going to see less Big 12 teams in the tournament.
Yeah, Cincinnati's decent. I think they're pesky. I think they're not good. They're pesky. I think it's the best way to describe them.
Yeah. Let's move to my favorite segment, Something Cool. What was something cool that happened this weekend, Micah?
Something cool that happened this weekend or this week?
You can take this week. It's a week as whole from our last show.
I mean, for me, something that was really cool is I finally got to experience Ball 5 in its full glory. I was sitting
I love it.
I was sitting right above section 203, 202, where that kind of chant originates from. And we got all the way up to Ball 9 on Thursday in that South Carolina and Texas A&M game in a key
Micah,
spot. Then what?
we missed out. They had 3 Ball 5 chants in an inning last night.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we've missed out on a lot, but that was probably the coolest thing. Or actually, you know what? I think what made it even better was hearing the Ball 5 chants multiple times at Sam Houston on the midweek because all the A&M fans not took over, but it was about a 50-50 split, and in a small ballpark like that, the 100 or so Aggies were doing the Ball 5, and it's midweek Conference USA pitching. So we had a couple of those moments. So I think it was cool to kind of like almost see a build up. So for me, I think that was the cool thing I saw this week was my favorite tradition in college baseball, and I'll stand by that.
But you got to see it live, so it makes a big difference when you're there live for it.
Correct.
Jake,
I'm going to go out to the Ivy League. Jack Omen continues to just absolutely impress, throwing a complete game shutout against the previously number 1 Columbia Lions. Get a good look at him, Ivy League fans. He's going to be pitching in the SEC next year. He's just a stud, which if you haven't had a chance to watch any of his starts in person, probably not because there's only about 100 people that goes to those games. But he's just an incredible. I mean, he mixes pitches. He throws hard. He has great off speed. He's probably the best mid-major pitcher in the country right now.
All right. That's a pretty bold take there, Jake. My something cool is similar to Mike. I got to go to a bunch of games this week. Going out and seeing some baseball down at Oregon State and Oregon, and having the fans come up and just say stuff and be like, "Hey, thanks for doing the show, man. Really appreciate you guys covering college baseball so well, and you guys have stuff all over the country. It's really awesome to watch." Getting out with the fans, and then with basketball being done, it was just tremendous to be able to go out there and see all these fans so passionate about college baseball. And college baseball is just rolling right now. I mean, it's growing so fast. More nationally televised games coming on every single week, and we're going to see more and more coverage this year. Can't wait. I think that it's just getting better and better every single week.
Yeah, honestly, I'll caveat real quick with that. Seeing High Point and USC Upstate on ESPNU last weekend was really cool. Like, I know it was because of some weather things and other like scheduling change stuff, but like that was awesome to see a Big South matchup on ESPNU.
Micah, you might see a High Point University player on one of our podcasts here pretty soon. Here, we might be having a little Connie Derschlager coming on there and speaking a little bit about his experience there. Let's move on here. I don't think we have any live questions. Looks like we don't have any live questions today, but if you guys ever have live questions or you guys want to send in questions, please feel free to shoot us messages and we'll put them up on the show. The best ones will get called out and we'll talk about them. If you guys have stuff that are comments during the show, we'll also take a look at those and answer any of those questions, but feel free, shoot us some messages over to College Baseball Central or any of the three of us and we can answer those for you on the weekend. Who's the best midseason coach thus far in this season? Jake, I'm going to let you start.
I'm going to go with Coach Lee down at Cal Poly.
Okay.
They were a completely under-the-radar team that nobody thought was going to be any good. They get out to a 12-0 start in the Big West. I'm going to go with Coach Lee down at Cal Poly.
Okay, that's a take. I mean, they're now tied with UCI, 12-1 in the conference play. Tremendous start for them. I don't think anybody had Cal Poly sitting up there and being possibly a fourth person in the Big West making a tournament. Micah.
So I had two people I was considering. One of them is on the screen. So I'm going to go with a guy that's not on the screen. You may be able to guess who my on the screen was, but then because there's a jersey behind me that kind of hints at it. But the off the screen one, and this might make some people upset. I'm going to say Jim Schlossnagle of Texas. I think what they have done, like I know, like no one thought Texas was going to be bad this year.
Yeah,
but I don't think anyone was saying Texas. Like again, I have them as the number one team in the country. Them and Arkansas, in my opinion, are very interchangeable. Like when they play in a couple weeks, we'll be in for a show. Like I think what he has done again, like and kudos to his staff too. That's not just only Jim Schlossnagle, like what Max Wiener's done with that pitching rotation and the bullpen as a whole. But I mean, this is I think again, I did not think in the middle of April we'd be talking about Texas as potential number one overall team in the country. So I got to give a lot of credit to Jim again with all the outside noise too. And again, there's a little bit that weighs into right like. With how A&M struggled to start the season. Like, it kind of speaks volumes to what Jim Schlossnagle does as a head coach. And so I think that I lean him or, again, Danny Hall, who's on the screen.
Yeah. If you told me that Blue was going to be out for the season basically for Texas, and they'd still be sitting in the top 5, I would have said you're crazy. To me,
They've won
were
9
like
straight
11 through
conference
16.
games, many of them without
It's
Max
crazy.
Blue.
It's crazy though, Jake. You never would have thought that in preseason. You're like, okay, they might be a regional host. They might be an 11 through 16. They might be pretty good this year. They have a good team. I don't think anybody had them in the top 5. I got 2 coaches as well, Mike. I think one of mine's on the screen as well. Butch Thompson at Auburn has just done tremendous things. We always, we joke about it on the show every single year that, hey, he doesn't miss the tournament back-to-back years. It's because he's a really good coach and he gets the best out of his guys. And they've been really good. And their win on this Friday was just another one of those against LSU. But I'm also going to go Coach Savage at UCLA. I don't think anybody had them even in the top 50 necessarily. They were just writing this team off as it's a full rebuild. They're trying to figure things out. They're not 26-7 and 10-3 in conference, even with their loss last night to Washington. They're tied right up there at the top of the conference with Iowa, and they're ahead of Oregon right now, who everybody picked to basically run away with that conference. So what UCLA is doing, we're going to see more of them. They're going to play at Oregon next week, so we'll see if that's really going to hold on for them. But, man, the way that he's coached this team and the fact that UCLA is right there is crazy to me. Mid-season freshman of the year, Mike, I'm going to let you go first.
Give me Alex Hernandez from Georgia Tech.
He's my number one.
What he has done. Georgia Tech as a whole, their season obviously is not completely being done by freshmen, but what they have done with newcomers in general, throwing in obviously Lodis as well for transferring over from Augusta, but Alex Hernandez coming in that second base role, he's hitting over 300. It's just
351, 10 home runs, 44 RBIs.
Yeah, it's incredible what he is doing. And again, he started every single game so far this year. I don't think he's missed one. If he has, he's missed just one. So, to come in immediately and just make the impact he has. And again, Georgia Tech having a top 15 season. Not many people saw that one coming either. Some of us did on the ACC show, but from a national landscape, not many people saw that coming.
No, and here's the thing. He's come in there and his teammates embrace him. And they're like, hey, this guy's good. He's going to be really good. And then you see it day in, day out. The work is paying off. The 10 home runs, 44 RBIs, and hitting 350 in that conference is incredible. And what Georgia Tech's doing. Big pick there. I like that one. Jake.
I'm going to go with 2, a pitcher and a hitter.
Okay.
Dylan Volantis up at Texas.
Okay.
He's been absolute nails out of the bullpen. He has yet to allow a run in SEC play. He's pitching multiple times on a weekend.
Yeah.
The ERA as a season is now under 1, which is just absolutely mind-boggling. He's been probably the biggest bright top 5 in the country. And then from a hitting standpoint, I'm going to go Tate Davis out at Louisville. I think he's been an incredible talent for them. Just continues to impress. Definitely has a mature approach, if you will. He's best freshman in the Bluegrass State. I know that Kentucky has a pretty good freshman. I'm going to go Tate Davis.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a guy that I know that D1 also picked him, Dax Whitney. 3.19 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. He's won games. He's 3-2 out there for Oregon State. Here's the thing: he's come in and he's had to start a weekend rotation spot for a team that was top 8 in the country. And you're saying, hey, we're going to give the ball to a freshman on Saturday and say, not even Sunday. He's going Saturday and just going out there and shoving, throwing 98 to 100 miles an hour out there, throwing 4-pitch mix for strikes. This kid's only getting better. Dax Whitney is my midseason freshman of the year. And if people call it a homer pick, they can. But I think that he's just done great things out here for Oregon State. It's tough to go to any place, but to go into a weekend rotation like that as a freshman and start off to a place that's at Oregon State that's just storied with pitching, it's big. Mid-season comeback player of the year. So this is somebody that either missed all of last season or most of last season with an injury, or somebody that has maybe changed positions, or somebody that's really gone out there and done different things for us. Micah, I'm going to let you start on this one. Who's your comeback player of the year?
Well, if you're letting me go first, and I'm taking the obvious answer because I don't want to explain my long-winded one, it's Jake Knapp from UNC.
Knapp,
he has stepped into. He's become one of the best Friday night guys in the ACC. Obviously last night we talked about it when we talked to UNC. He was incredible again. Bounce back from that injury. He's incredible.
Yeah, 7-0, 1.58 ERA, 0.88 WHIP, and he's been 51 in a third innings, which is crazy to see. He's been really, really, really good. And Carolina, a team that went to Omaha last year, and they get all this pitching back from a year ago. Folger, Boaz, Jake Knapp. Man, the pitching's not the question mark, but that's a big one there. Jake Knapp's been so good on that first game for UNC. Jake, who are you going?
I'll leave your boy down at Arkansas for you, Mark, because I know
Okay,
you're a big
good.
fan of him. I'm going to go an under-the-radar one because
Yeah.
he did pitch last year. He wasn't an injury guy. Liam Doyle, like what he did at Ole Miss really wasn't that impressive. He had an ERA over 5. And then this year, he's just been absolutely nails as the Friday night guy at Tennessee. I know it's a little bit unconventional to say he's a comeback player, but I felt like me personally, I was very, very low on him. And he's probably the best pitcher in the SEC right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have looked at it and said maybe AJ Russell, if he gets back, could be that kind of guy for them and the comeback player of the year. But yeah, it's been good. I'm going Aiden Jimenez from Arkansas. I know that when we did the preview on them earlier in the season, we had talked, that he might not get many opportunities. Who knows what kind of opportunities he's going to have down there? They have so much depth. He's now made 11 appearances, Jake. He's got a 1.27 ERA. He's got 4 wins under his belt. He seems to be their new guy that they just go to when they need to get some outs and just go out there and compete. Aiden Jimenez, an Oregon State transfer out there, finally coming back from Tommy John. Good to see him going out there and really just dominating and being really good out of the bullpen for a very good Arkansas team. Mid-season Golden Spikes winner. This can go a lot of different directions. Jake, I'm going to let you start. Who's your mid-season Golden Spikes guy?
Justin LeBron down in Alabama.
Yeah,
he had a home run last night. He's been absolutely incredible. He's the betting favorite if you're into gambling. He every single time, I've seen a lot of really good shortstop. I've seen Arquette. I've seen Tyler Bell at Kentucky. I think Justin LeBron's the best shortstop I've ever seen in the SEC. I think it's going to be a travesty. If he doesn't win the Golden Spikes, it's going to be like Cags. We're like, how did this guy never win a Golden Spikes? Justin LeBron is that uber talented.
I'll take the field on this here, Jake. Micah, Golden Spikes.
Well, what's crazy to me is like when they announced the Golden Spikes mid-season watch list or whatever it was, like I was amazed by just how many names are on there, but like numbers wise this year just don't again, Jace Laviolette not having the same season he had last year.
Guys that probably shouldn't have been on the list.
Liam Peterson, Ethan Petrie's been good, but we're not really talking about him as a Golden Spikes guy. Like Nolan Schubart was on that list. It was kind of crazy to see, but I'm gonna go purely based off of just pure feelings here, Mark. I'm going Drew Burress. Drew Burress is the glue guy for this Georgia Tech team. He's still hitting over 300. I mean, what he brings all across the board. I think Justin LeBron is probably gonna, again, he's the betting favorite for a reason. But if I had to go out there and just pick someone that I want, best player in college baseball, it's Drew Burress. What he brings to the locker room, what he brings defensively, his offensive. Again, he's a clutch hitter. I'm all in. I've never been not in on Drew Burress. So
I thought you were going to go Lodi's. I actually was going to save Alex Lodi's for you.
Nope.
Alex and Kyle Lodi's have been tremendous, though. And Kyle's got 395, 13 home runs, 4 guys. But I agree. I think Burress is the best player on that team. And
Mark, can I give a dark horse?
Yeah, go ahead. I got one more after you're ready.
Ethan Holiday, the high schooler up in Oklahoma at Stillwater High School. He's hitting 700. He has a ton of buzz around him. I think that we haven't had a high school player ever win the award. Bryce Harper won it as a junior college guy. He is considered a finalist for the award. So I really like Ethan Holiday. Oklahoma State commit, if you will.
Semi-finalist. They don't have the finalists.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Watch list. He is a Oklahoma State commit. Wink, wink.
He's not going to Oklahoma State. But, high school guys, I don't really tremendous season, but it doesn't match what these guys are doing at the college level to me in the amateur side. Yes, Bryce Harper won, but he was also a JUCO guy, and he had the one game he played with bat. Yeah, the one game he played with metal bats, he had 6 for 6 with 4 home runs. So, my other guy that I wanted to keep an eye on is a guy who I got to interview this week, Mason Neville from Oregon. People have not really looked at this team out west and how much stuff that they're doing. He's hitting 325, but he's got 15 home runs and 42 runs scored, 31 RBIs. He's their leadoff hitter, guys, and he has 15 home runs and he's hitting 330, and his on-base percentage is high. I mean, he has a OPS of 1258. I mean, and he's a leadoff guy. So I think that he's not getting enough love, and he's playing great defense out there, playing center field for them every single day. So tremendous effort out there, like Mason Neville. We'll see what happens this weekend here at Maryland. But the 15 home runs right up there near the top of the country right now. All right, boys. Final thoughts as we head into the rest of the weekend. Got any games you think folks got to watch? We know that we already saw, Ole Miss and Tennessee. What other games we want to send people to? Micah?
I mean, I'm going to have a lot of eyes on the Big 12. Obviously, that Kansas, TCU, Oregon, or Oklahoma State, Arizona are two big ones that I'm going to be watching because I think those four teams are probably the most likely of the four to have the Big 12 champion out of them. So I'll be circling that. Mark, in your neck of the woods, I'm gonna have some eyes on that Oregon Maryland game. I'm very intrigued because again, like talked about it, Oregon coming across the country.
Yeah.
Maryland's a team that can hit the living crap out of the ball, but pitching has just been, for lack of a better term, pretty bad. So like, how's that going to look for like, again, that could easily be an 18-15 type of game today. So I think for me, those are some of the more, I guess, maybe not sleepy games, but because there's obviously some really great answers all across the SEC with Arkansas and Georgia and whatnot. But I think those are the ones I'll be kind of keeping an eye on the most that maybe, again, aren't necessarily the ones that are on top of mind for most people.
That's fair. That's fair. I love it. Jake?
I'm going to, obviously, all the SEC, ACC games, I'm going to go Lamar and Nichols. They had a walk-off last night. Shout out to Micah.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks, buddy.
Boots
on the ground for that big game, so that's crazy.
Boots on the ground for that one. Another one that we're going to have boots on the ground at tomorrow, West Virginia and Houston. That's another one that I'll be keeping an eye on. And then under the radar one, Charlotte ECU. Charlotte won last night. Charlotte has one of the best
Friday
Friday
night. Whole series at the Knights ballpark, Jake, or was that just last night they did
that? Was just last night. They're going to be back on campus. Charlotte has a very, very good Friday night guy. Can they get more out of it? If ECU wants to be in the tournament, I think that this is probably going to have to be Cliff Godwin's toughest coaching job yet, because I don't think they're the most talented team in the AAC this year. It's like 4 or 5 deep, when in past it's been maybe 2 deep. So it's a legitimate shot. I really like this one because this will be a good prove-it series for me with ECU if they can battle back. They have a good Friday night guy. Unfortunately, he lost last night. But ECU Charlotte's a very underrated series.
Selfishly, I'm going to sit at home and watch all the ACC games because I want to see if I can finally go 8-0 for a weekend. I haven't had a perfect pick 'em. Starting off hot. Doing well so far.
If you go 8-0, Mark, I'm just gonna let you make I'm gonna wait until you submit your picks, and I'm just gonna fade you for the fun of it, because that way, anytime you get wrong, I can catch some ground.
To be fair, I have put my picks in first every single week in our pick 'em. I've literally put them public, and I've put them first every single week so that anybody can see my picks in our group. I've put them out there first every single week. So, listen, I'm just so happy college baseball's back. Thanks to Jake McKeever and Micah Butel.
Butel.
Maybe I just can't say it correctly because I tried to say it. Butel. Must be a Pacific Northwest thing. Thanks for coming on the show this week, guys. We'll see you guys again next week, 10 a.m. Central Time, 8 o'clock Pacific Time. And in 2 weeks, is it 2 weeks? 3 weeks, I'll be in Hawaii doing the show at 5 a.m. So I'll be ready to join you guys live for that one. It'll be
I think we're going to be in Arkansas that day.
You guys are in Arkansas, I believe.
Yeah.
So we're going to be 6 time zones apart. Thanks. Join us again next week, folks. We'll see you guys at the same time.